Hi, I'm Dana, and in my last video you saw me very emotionally dysregulated and not having the time of my life. I'll give you, it was not one of my favourite moments I've experienced in life up to this point, you know? I've had worse, there's been a lot of better as well. So I thought, rather than just I thought I'd do a bit of a sequel to it and a bit of a follow-up, and rather than just leave you with like me having an absolute night and be like, I just don't want to wear any clothes, I need to shower and everything feels awful, I'd share some of the ways that I attempt to regulate myself on the regular, essentially. I'm putting quite a lot of effort into trying to keep myself emotionally regulated, keep myself calm, keep myself relaxed, actually learn to rest, all of that kind of stuff. I'm putting quite a lot of effort into it, and for the most part, on the average day, I do feel like it's going quite well. And before we really get into the video, I will also say I do wonder sometimes if me emotionally regulating myself to not have meltdowns is actually like bottling up emotions or pushing off meltdowns and making it worse in the long run. But I fucking hate having meltdowns. They're fucking horrible. They take ages. It's a whole thing to recover from. If I can prevent it from happening, I'm going to. And obviously, it's a lot easier if you don't do the thing that gives you the meltdown. But I never know when I'm gonna like go to an event and have a really perfect, lovely, glorious time and be like, I'm so glad that I went. I'm so proud of myself for doing that. Or when I'm gonna get to the event and not even manage to get myself to walk in and then feel awful, you know? Like sometimes you just... Sure, I could avoid the things that are likely to put me into meltdown, but I just wouldn't be living or doing anything, and that's not worth it to me, and I'd be really depressed. So I go out and I try my best to do things, and on a semi-regular occasion they go quite fucking wrong. And I've spent many years having those things push me into massive meltdowns that are very difficult to deal with in the moment, they're very difficult to recover from, and I just want to avoid it as much as I can. So maybe it is bottling up my emotions. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I am just some woman chatting bollocks on YouTube. Like, don't put that much stock into the shit I say, you know? I'm just trying to be helpful, and if you can like glean something from this and find it useful, then good for us. If not, then that's fine too. I'm just some woman, it's fine. So first up, I feel like one of the big like regulating things that I shared is sort of like, for the general population, for the Aulistics, for the people that aren't neurodivergent, is, oh, have a bath, just have a bath. And that is the type of thing where if I could just click my fingers and my bath's ready and I can get into it, I think that would massively help me to regulate and make me feel a lot better. That's not what happens though, is it? I have the first like 15 to 20 minutes where there's just this like pounding sound of water gushing into my fucking bathtub, and the sensory changes and everything's like, I hate getting a bath ready. It feels like it takes forever, and the sensory issues of like the sounds that it makes and having to check the water temperature and just prepare it all. It feels like a lot of steps. I'm already stressed. I'm already having a whole time. I'm not fucking doing it. Like, I agree it would absolutely help me. I think I'm probably gonna have the meltdown while I'm getting the bath ready. It's not actually going to like, you know, I need it to be an immediate thing. So sometimes having a shower is the most glorious thing to get me out of it. Having a shower just absolutely cures me of every ill every now and again. Every now and again. I do also find showers difficult. Like, you're not seeing my braids today because I don't have my braids in because I was going to wash my hair last night. I didn't do it. I didn't even do anything else instead. I just didn't get around to it. I often find showering very difficult because of all the sensory transitions that happen anyway. If I'm already emotionally dysregulated and I'm already having a bit of a rough time of things, I probably already want to take all of my fucking clothes off. That was one of the things that came up quite a bit in my autism diagnosis when my mum was talking about when I was like a very young child, because I just would have these like random times that I suddenly started screaming and tore all of my clothes off in this really inappropriate manner as a 3-year-old. And I've learned that, I mean, quite frankly, I have enough body insecurities that I'm just not going to do that in public anymore. And obviously I'm aware of like the social taboo of it all, but I have a lot of times when everything is too much, and then there's fucking clothes touching me as well. I don't want it. Get it fucking off. So being able to not have clothes on me and just get in the shower, because I also really struggle with regulating my body temperature, especially if I'm dysregulated and not having a good time. I quite often end up like shivering and feeling really cold. So being in a warm shower where it's a fucking nightmare getting out of it. I feel like we all know that. Like those are the showers that I have that are like 2 hours long, and the last like hour and a half is me standing there being like, I really want to go out of the shower and like do something else now, but I don't want to experience the cold or hit my skin and drying myself off and dealing with getting out of the shower. So I'm just going to continue to stand here. But it is the type of thing where, like, sure, it's like still a bit of a time, but it does massively take me down to the point where, like, I'm not about to have a meltdown anymore, you know? Like, I'm not like emotionally regulated to the max, but I'm not gonna have a meltdown anymore. I do find it helpful. It is better than nothing. The next one that really helps me personally, obviously, I don't think any of these are gonna hit for every autistic person anyway, because we're all different, but especially this one. I'm big time media autistic. My TV shows and my little characters, my little films mean sort of everything to me. I sort of like them more than I like anything in the real world. So watching one of my little shows, putting one of my little films on, I'm escaping. It's pure escapism. It's beautiful. It's delightful. I adore it. And I'll give, like, I'm probably not gonna watch, like, it's my specific ones. It's my specific special interest shows. And even then, like, I'm not gonna watch Ashes to Ashes when I'm having like an absolute time, except for when my mum died, because it's probably gonna like throw me and make me have a bit more of an absolute time because of the like emotional connection I have to it. But there's things like Drop Dead Fred, Adult Life Skills, Doctor Who. If I throw them on when I'm having like, I can be on the absolute brink of a meltdown, like starting to cry and shake and having a bad time. You put on an episode of Doctor Who that isn't Peter Capaldi and I'll settle right down. I'll be fine. It's one of the very few things that my parents actually fucking figured out. I can't tell you how many times as a kid I'd be like really getting stressed and like having a fucking time and it's all about to go absolutely tits up and my mum really didn't want to fucking deal with it, and she'd be like, shall we put on an episode of Doctor Who? Shall we just go and watch Doctor Who? And I'd be like, yeah, I want to watch Doctor Who. And then I'd be fine. You know, 40 minutes later, just completely settles me down, puts me right at ease, sorts me out. And I think that's actually also a massive part of the reason that the longest job that I've ever... The only job that I've managed to do for more than a couple of days was working at a video shop. And I do massively think that's because I could just have my shit on in the background all the time. Like, pretty much every moment that I was in that place, I had something on that either had Rick Mail in it or The X-Files or something with Winona Ryder in. Like, I just always had one of my little things on in the background. So even if I was having, like, a horrible, stressful time and having to speak to people, I could hear Drop Dead Fred, like, cackling in the back room. You know, it weren't that bad. One that I do more on the everyday rather than just when I'm like about to have a meltdown, I think it helps me to remain more like emotionally regulated just throughout. There's a few that I like that actually, but the one that I have like on my list and that I intended to talk about was dancing and singing, and together, separately. Even playing guitar, having something to do where I'm moving my body and making a sound, I feel like that actually does absolute magic for me. I think that is one of the main reasons that I'm able to like cope with life and deal with things as well as I am, is the fact that every single day for at least like I'd say at the bare minimum 30 minutes on a worse day, on a day where I do need like a little bit more like pep in my step, 2 hours, I have loud music, be that from my weird little radio situation that I've managed to get set up, my Bluetooth speaker, on my headphones. I will just have some sort of loud music, or like I said, I'll play my little guitar and then that gets me moving my arm. You know, it's still some sort of movement and making a noise. I think is, I mean, I don't know an awful lot about it all, but I believe it does tie into somatics most likely. It ties into something, I'm sure, if not that. Like, I feel like it is just a base of like human mental health and like community and blah 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 blah. Like, I feel like there's probably like a proper like scientific mental health background to why moving your body and making some sort of noise is just real fucking good for your like emotional nervous system, regulating yourself. And I feel like it's the kind of thing that a lot of people will avoid because you're not good at it. And no, my babes, it don't matter. You don't have to be. I don't think I'm the worst singer in the whole entire world. I've posted videos of me singing on YouTube. I wouldn't have done that if I thought I was like absolute shit, you know? And I don't think I'm great. I don't think I'm particularly good, but I don't think I'm like painful to listen to, you know? I am painful to watch dance. You're not gonna see me posting a fucking dance video on TikTok or whatever, because I can't do it. I can't do a choreographed dance. And I know that like when I'm doing my own little dances, I'm not in rhythm, I'm not on the beat, I don't have any actual moves. I'm sort of just flailing about and jumping about and having the time of my fucking life. It's fun. I enjoy it. I'm never going to let anyone see it. I'm not going to do it with anyone. I don't want anyone to be there while I'm doing it. Do not perceive me. I would die if someone walked in on me doing it. But it's one of the things that I used to do on the rare occasions that my housemates would actually leave the fucking house, and that was the first time that I was like, oh, this is actually, I feel a lot better on the days that I've had the chance to do this than I do on the days that I haven't. And since living alone and being able to just do it whenever the fuck I want, and that's where I wouldn't have previously done it wearing headphones, and they do often like fly off and it's a bit, oh shit, I'm gonna break them one of these days, but being able to do it at like 2 a.m. and not have to worry about bothering anyone, because I'm not actually like, if someone else was in my house, I think they'd probably be able to hear that I am like moving around erratically. I'm 99.999% sure that my neighbours can't even hear that I'm doing anything. You know, like I don't have wooden floors. Like I would be shocked if they can hear that I'm doing anything. And if they can, it's not loud enough to be a bother. And I just think that it helps me so much. It makes me feel like it's not one that I'm gonna... See, I say that, there's definitely been times that I've been like very close to meltdown and like, I want loud music, and then because the loud music's on, that's what I do when there's loud music on. I sing along and I do my little dances, and it definitely just makes me feel a massive amount better. So I guess that's probably one that I do use both in the moment sometimes when it happens naturally, and it's just something that I do regularly that I think has provided me with a lot of like ongoing regulation and the ability to process things better. And like I just think it's a very healthy thing that I'm doing there, and it's also fun and it's moving my body, it's a physical exercise. Like I just think it's all around a good thing to be doing, and one that if you're not inclined to that kind of thing you maybe wouldn't think of, but if you give it a go you might really enjoy. And sort of in the same vein of that, I've talked about this a little while ago, and then I sort of stopped talking about it because I stopped doing it for a little while. But I've gotten real back into my weighted hula hoop lately as well. And I struggle a lot with weighted things. Like I know that like weighted blankets and weighted toys and things like that are a big thing in the autistic community. And I've tried weighted blankets, and because of like my personal specific history of trauma, they just sort of freak me out. I can't have something heavy like all on me. It freaks me the fuck out, and I do not want it to. No, it's not for me at all. But having the weighted hula hoop, being able to like move my body and have this like compression that's moving, it's heavy but it's not in one spot for like a prolonged amount of time, it helps me out a lot. And it's another one that I feel like probably ties into like somatics, because obviously like a lot of somatics is like tapping and like feeling your body and things like that. I believe I've not like explored it super far, but like the movement of it and the weight of it is just, I find it really relaxing and really helpful, and just it definitely regulates me and grounds me and makes me feel more aware of like, especially when I'm like not having a good day, it makes me a lot more aware of my body and my surroundings, and makes me feel a lot more like planted and grounded in the current moment. And I definitely think it's really good both on like the autism regulation side of things, and also like I've not been diagnosed with shit outside of autism, but I definitely have some sort of like derealization, depersonalization, like disassociation, something going on in that regards that maybe ties into something else, maybe ties into the autism. I don't really know, but I do know that my little weighted hula hoop really fucking helps with that and makes me feel like I'm actually in my body and I'm this person. It helps, it's very helpful. And while I'm talking about like physical exercise, I'm never gonna tell you like go to the gym or like do an exercise class or whatever else, but I do think that I had my little phase like several years ago now in like 2019 where I was going to like the gym and exercise classes and yoga classes and like really going out and doing it all, and I fucking hated it. But I do think it benefited me because I found a lot of yoga moves that I actually really like and that feel really good for my body. So at random points throughout the day, like I don't think that deeply about a lot of this. It's just that like I'm someone who needs quite a lot of emotional regulation, and these are things that I've started to just naturally implement because that's what they do and they make me feel better, so I do them. So I have multiple points throughout the day where I will just get on the floor and do the is it a baby? But where you like hold your feet and have your legs bent and just sort of rock back and forth with your legs open. That feels fucking great for your hips. I will do the I don't know the names of these things, or like bit of cat cow, like very basic standard yoga moves that that are like the first things that you do when you put on a YouTube video type of thing. And I'll just hold them for fucking ages while I'm like scrolling TikTok or listening to music or just generally like fucking about with my cat or whatever else. Like I'm not paying any attention to what I'm doing. I'm just moving my body in ways that like stretches it out and feels good. And I think that is another thing that is quite like I hate it. I hate how much people are like, oh, your emotions sit in your body, release your trauma through this, and like a lot of it gets like very pretentious and very like I think a lot of it gets quite victim blamey, to be honest. It's like, well, you would get better if you just did this. Like, I don't like a lot of it, but I do also think that there is like, you know, a lot of it's based on science, and whatever they run off with to like put behind it for the marketing is one thing, but the science is still there that like moving your body and doing shit with your body does tend to like help you out emotionally, and those are the like physical things. And also I go for a lot of walks now, but I've always been someone that walks like a good amount. I've always tried to get out at least once a day to go for a little walk, and guess what, shock horror, it's actually way more beneficial for my mental health to go for a walk here where I'm walking through like rolling hills and fields and woodland, versus when I was going for a walk and it's like my local park is filled with people in the bushes setting off fireworks and shouting things at me, and now there's someone going past on a bike, and now there's a car here that shouldn't be there, and now the police are going down, someone set a fire, so now the fire brigade's over there. Like, it massively depends on where you're living and what your walk situation is like as to if a walk is going to help, is my point. I'm finding that very like emotionally grounding and lovely and delightful at the minute, but I also very much understand that if you're living in a bit of a shithole, it's probably not that nice to go for a walk. But I'm throwing it out there anyway because I do find it very emotionally regulating, and I think it's been massively helpful in me just feeling a lot more grounded, a lot more like helping in my healing journey and all that bullshit, you know? And my final one is making stuff with my hands. This is where I think I don't want to generalise, but I do feel like the autism community is sort of split in two, where there's people that can stim with fidget toys and find that like very satisfying and really enjoy it, and there's people like me where like I need to be doing something with my hands. Like, don't just, oh, I've got this cube and I can put the joystick back and forth and then click this button, but they don't do anything, so I don't actually find it particularly satisfying. It's not really actually helping me concentrate. It's not helping me. I don't like, I can see why fidget toys would help some, like a lot of people. Like, I don't have shade against them. I'm not like, they don't actually work. They just really don't fucking work for me. Whereas if I can do something with clay, if I can crochet, if I can just do something with my hands where I'm like, this is what it does, you know, like there's a purpose to it. I really don't like doing things that don't feel like there's any reason or rhyme or purpose to them, I think is the big thing behind that. And I don't think everything has to be productive per se. Like I bring up clay because a lot of times that I do things with clay, I'm not actually like it's not a final finished piece, you know? Like, I mean, I am currently trying to get into sculpture, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times I will like make my thing and be like, oh yeah, there it is. And because I'm using polymer clay, I just don't bake it, and then I'll make it into something else next time. Like, it's not about having like a finished product and the productivity of it. It's just that I get to make something and get that like dopamine hit of like, I've made a thing. I don't need it to be permanent. I don't know what the fuck I'm explaining there at this point. But yeah, doing things with my hands, making things with my hands, painting, drawing. I don't paint and draw all that often because that is the kind of thing that I do get a bit perfectionist about, and I need it to be good, and I can get quite upset if it doesn't look the way that I imagined it and wanted it to. So I try to do things that I'm good at when that's the type of thing, when I'm using it for emotional regulation and not like trying to get better at art, trying to do this, putting work in, you know? Sometimes I'm trying to do things for productivity, and sometimes I'm trying to do things because I enjoy them and it makes me feel good, and I think it's good for my mental health and like me generally getting by and enjoying life as a person, you know? So yeah, maybe these were like really obvious, and I am just stating the obvious and everyone else was really aware of it, and this is only news to me. Thanks for letting me know if that's the case. I don't know. It's stuff that I've figured out, and some of it's stuff I've been doing a long time, some of it's stuff that I've introduced more often, and it's all stuff where I'm like, yo, I think that this makes me feel better. I think that this is stuff that makes my life a bit easier and a bit more enjoyable, and it just helps me, you know? So I'm gonna leave it there. That's the end of the video. I've only been filming for a normal amount of time, but this feels, I feel like I've been filming for forever. So I will be quick with this end section because you know what it's about anyway. My friend Seth has set up a GoFundMe for their partner Shan because they're unable to fucking go anywhere. They're unable to get to the hospital, they're unable to go to a doctor's appointment, they're unable to go out and have anything fun because their transport methods don't accommodate to their disabilities. When they're being transported to and from hospital appointments and doctor's appointments, they are repeatedly re-injured and left in massive amounts of pain, and their lives are pretty much made harder every time they need to go somewhere for a medical purpose, never mind to do anything fun or nice. So as such, Seth set up a GoFundMe. I will have it linked down below. it's so that they can get an adapted van so that Shan can travel safely without being further injured and having their current chronic disabilities worsened and so on and so forth. So if you can check it out, if you just click through so there's like traffic going to it, I feel like that's helpful. If you're able to share it anywhere at all, that would be absolutely brilliant. If you're able to donate, that would be absolutely fantastic and so lovely of you. It would be deeply appreciated. There's no pressure. I know that it's like hard times for everyone at the minute. I'm not I don't expect anything from you guys as my audience. The fact that you're here to watch is already nice enough. If you want to comment, I do really love having a conversation here and getting to see discussion happen. I very much am not expecting you to pay towards this, you know, but I also don't think that anyone should be left without being able to travel safely anywhere. I don't think they should be unable to travel safely to go and have fun times as much as to hospital appointments. So if we're able to get some eyes onto this and have some people donate, it would be really, really cool. But there is no pressure. There is no, you know, I'm just trying to help my friend and their partner. I'm not trying to push it on you. I'm not telling you to spend like your last tenner that you were going to get dinner with on this. But if you've got a bit of something spare knocking around, it'd be really cool if you put it towards this. And if you don't have anything spare knocking around and you want to give it a share, I would really appreciate it. If you do neither, that is still completely fucking fine. And I'm so ready to stop talking. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I'll see you again in a couple of days.